to folks that we had this available in case anybody thought it would be useful. So thanks everybody for joining that could today. Another one of these brief team sessions. As I was saying before, I kind of just wanted to show a couple resources we have that have animations. There's other multimedia and videos available in these resources, but they have specifically some physiology animations and pathology animations that are kind of cool. And the part of the reason I thought about this is because I know that I guess I just learned from Dr. Bauer, we recently acquired BioRender for a few users, which I'm sort of familiar with, but we don't have access to here in the library. But the two resources I wanted to show today are, I actually I thought there was going to be some in Access Biomedical Science, which we have access to, but it's actually in just our regular AccessMedicine collection. And also the Visible Body Suite has some animations that I thought might be kind of useful for faculty if they wanted to use them for lectures or anything. So like I always do at the start of these, I want to show where you can find these things. If you go to the LUCOM library page and you scroll down to databases, you'll find a link to AccessMedicine right here and the link to Visible Body down here. You can also click on the A to Z medical databases link and you'll find an alphabetical list of all of our databases. You can also find them, that same list is organized on the course guides and textbooks, which what we call LibGuides. So if I go to AccessMedicine, where you're going to find these things is actually, they call it multimedia, and there's a bunch of stuff here. I'm not sure how you say this, auscultation classroom, but there's some animations here. Most of them seem to have to do with cardiology, but they're like animations of that particular, so aortic regurgitation. You can actually see what that looks like, and I don't know if I don't know if I optimized this for sound, but it actually plays the sound to what it sounds like. So that's something that's in there. This other thing I wanted to show you under this multimedia and AccessMedicine is the big picture physiology videos, and these are kind of more built like lectures. They're like very short snippets. You'll see like 34 seconds, 6 minutes, 53 seconds, but there are animations here. Skeletal muscle structure and function, neuromuscular junction. So there's like, it's kind of like a faculty member speaking or an instructor speaking, and then it's got some of the animation that you can see as well. We also have diagnostic and imaging studies, and these are pretty cool because they're actually real images. So like if we're looking at CT scans, these are real CTs, and they're not very long. You'll see 40 seconds, 29 seconds. I should have optimized this for sound so that you could actually hear. I apologize, that was my oversight. I didn't do it, but it actually has the actual diagnostic image, like a real image, not an animation, that's available to you. So you can link to these in your lectures or your PowerPoints if you want to. There's a resource that I used to show in here that I thought was really cool, and it's Harrison's pathophysiology animations. So if you want to see like pathology animations, I don't know what's going on. I'm going to have to reach out to the vendor. This is giving an error. It's not going to the resource right now. I'm not really sure why. There was a really cool collection. Yeah, it says access error. There's a really cool collection of pathophysiology animations. I'll find out what's going on with that and send out an email when it's fixed. But there's heart and lung sounds, human anatomy modules. So these are not necessarily animations, but they're more kind of like click through illustrations that you can click, zoom in and out. It's almost kind of like this is a comparison to the Visible Body resource. You can click on sections and it tells you what those are. You can isolate those sections. So those are just some of the animations available. Another one I wanted to point out, I don't know if anybody on the team session is a pharmacologist, but there's pharmacology animations for cardiology, neurology, pharmacology lecture videos and pulmonology. But these are pretty cool. So like if I go on neurology, these are not necessarily real images. They're more like animations of what's actually happening. So this is the adrenergic neuroeffector junction, if I said that right. But they're animations showing the mechanism of action of what's actually happening. And again, I didn't optimize this for audio, but there's the audio description of what's actually happening in this process. And there's those pharmacology animations for neurology, cardiology. What else did we see that was there? Well, there's several pharmacology animations that you have access to. Pulmonology. So that's just some of the ones that are available in AccessMedicine. I was thinking there would be some in Access Biomedical Science, but for whatever reason, they're not built into that resource. And so again, if you go back to the medical library page and go down to databases and click on the visible body link, you're going to open up the visible body page. You'll have to create an account or sign in. I've already got one. And once you get to the visible body page, you're going to launch it's actually a JavaScript application, so you have to launch it. And it'll take a second because it's actually software. But the first thing it pops up is you've got the whole 3D anatomy tools in the background, but here you'll see flashcards, My Library, Explore 3D Anatomy, and animations. And what I really wanted to point out was this animations, because it's got normal physiology animations. We've got bone and skeletal muscles. It shows how muscles and tendons and things work when contracting, but it's got cells and tissues, and it's got animations of those different types of cells and tissues. You can't hear this, but there's actually narration going on over top of this. But what's also kind of cool is, this is one of the things that I wish, I'm gonna have to figure out why it's not working in AccessMedicine. There's pathology animations. So there's respiratory and circulatory pathologies. So peripheral vascular disease. It's got animations of that process and what it looks like. And it narrates what's happening in that process during the animation as well. It's got digestive and urinary pathologies, muscle and bone pathologies. So things going wrong with muscles and ligaments and tendons and things. Things aren't functioning as they're properly supposed to. So that's just, and there's advanced animations here for musculoskeletal systems, respiratory systems, and urinary systems. Again, I don't know if you would want to embed these into a PowerPoint lecture. There's also musculoskeletal pathology animations, which kind of goes along with what we already saw, the different pathology animations that you have access to in Visible Body. But just between these two resources, between AccessMedicine and Visible Body, there's a ton of animations available. You can use these in lectures or instruction. And I'm going to find out why that resource in AccessMedicine for the pathogen animations is not is giving us an error, because I've actually looked at that resource before, this Harrison's pathophysiology animations, and that's actually a really cool resource. I'm not sure why it's not working, but I'll figure that out and I'll email everybody about it. But that's really all I wanted to show, just kind of make people aware these are available. Diane had mentioned maybe it was a good time to let people know they had these because of the interest of some in BioRender. I know this is different than BioRender, but some of these things kind of can overlap. I could see how they could be used in lectures. So,
hey Rob.
Yes.
Just say again, I do some PCM lectures on cardiac and lung sounds, and I've got some embedded, but the ones that you showed on AccessMed in the multimedia.
Yes.
And you can click on it for 20 seconds or something. Are they able to be embedded into a PowerPoint, or do you have to have a link into the system? Like YouTube videos, I can embed them and I don't necessarily have to have a internet link most of the time, but I wasn't sure like with those, if we can do that. Oh, a share? I don't know if the share would go into a.
I'm looking for a trick. Okay, my trick won't work. there's a way you can go into page info and find media, and you can find a URL for the media and actually save it, but they've grayed it out, so you can't do that. I don't know. Share maybe. No.
I didn't know if you're in a meeting. I mean, if you're in the auditorium, if I just have the like cut and paste the website, I should be able to pull that up, shouldn't I?
Yeah, you should be able to. Yeah, just put the URL there and go right to it. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Some of those look pretty good. I'm going to listen to them and see.
Yeah, sure. Okay. Well, thank you guys. Thank you for joining. And again, this is recorded, so all of these recordings are up on the LibGuide, and I'll be doing some more upcoming team sessions on Mesh and PubMed and Medline and using Polyglot Translator, new methods of remote access for UpToDate and Dynamed, and I want to talk about translating and developing Pico queries into an advanced PubMed search. So I'll be doing those soon. So
thank you, sir.
have a good afternoon.
You too.